Hey there, I'm a fellow barbecue enthusiast. Mike Baker here, Baker's Barbecue. Hey, today I'm going to try something a little different, and I'm going to do a side of Prairie Fresh ribs, baby back ribs, and I'm going to inject them with my own personal Baker's Barbecue injection. And I'm also going to have them seasoned in some Baker's Barbecue competition rub. This is available now in stores throughout Southeast Missouri, and also on my website at www.bakersbbq.net. Go check that out. And there's also a locations tab on there as well. You can click and see what stores that's located in throughout Southeast Missouri. So we're going to bring this smoker up to about 225, 230 degrees. I'm going to throw a little bit of apple wood in there. We're going to get these baby backs on, get them smoking, and we're going to see if that injection in these ribs makes a difference. I've been hearing quite a bit out there on the competition circuit. Everybody's injecting their ribs now. And it's been a while since I've cooked in a competition. So that's something I think is relatively new. And we're going to try it out today and see how it does. So I'm going to get back out there in competition cooking. We'll be able to decide if we're going to inject or not. Let's get to smoking. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off some of this excess fat. I'm not going to do a lot of trimming today. I'm not doing competition trimming. Like I said, the main focus of this video is I want to see how big of a difference it makes if I inject my ribs and versus not. I've never injected them before. I mean, I've marinated and done all the different kind of stuff, but I've never actually taken the time to do an injection into the actual ribs. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out. So I recommend you do this in a pan like this. This is actually a pretty good size sheet pan that will be good when I inject because it won't allow stuff to splatter so bad. Take off this membrane. Just grab it like I said before, paper towel. Just work it all the way out to the end, just like that. So our next step is going to be to inject the ribs. And so this is going to be a little bit more tricky because what I'm going to be doing is having to inject down. I'm going to go down in the center, try to go in the center of each bone. If that doesn't quite work out, then what I'm able to do is just kind of go in the top. It's actually going to be better having it upside down, so we'll see how that works out. Grab me a good amount here. It's going to go right down the center. Yeah, I can see it already coming out the back side of that. That's good. See it coming out the back side of the rib there. So I'm just going to kind of hit it just a little bit around. I can actually feel it plumping up in there on me too. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you can definitely see around the membrane there. Those are plumping up. All right, this made me a good mess here on top of myself, but that's what barbecue's all about. All right, so next thing we're going to do is flip this over, and you want to wipe up all this excess marinade and injection here. I found it works pretty good. Take a paper towel, stick it down on one side, kind of lift it up. Let everything run to that one side there. And it's a lot easier to get it out. Put a little Baker's Barbecue on there. Baker's Barbecue competition rub, great stuff. If you haven't tried it, please try it. So we're just going to go in here and flip it over. Get the bottom first. Do a good coat of seasoning. I'm going to do as much on the bottom. Get all down the sides. Flip it back over. And repeat that process. Really good rub, real savory. Got a lot of delicious spices in it. Got a little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar in there too. Go down the sides of it real good. Flip it around here. And I'm going to let these sit while I go back out, get the smoker all ready to go. Let this sit and get ready to go in the smoker here shortly. There, my fellow barbecue enthusiasts, it's time to get these ribs on. I'm really excited about this cook today. Like I said, I've injected the ribs. I haven't ever done that before, so I'm really curious to see how that works out. And then also I got it shook down in some Baker's Barbecue competition rub. Savory, good rub. I urge you to try it. Go in there and check it out. I can ship up to 4 bottles for the price of 1. So let's get these ribs on. Oh yeah, them jokers look good, and they are going to be tasty. So we're going to shut this down and get it going. I've got it spinning over some apple wood today and just a little bit of hickory as well. So let's get it shut down and we'll be back to check on this thing probably in a couple hours or so. Let's take a quick look at these and see how they're doing here. Oh yeah, those are looking good. But I can tell by looking at them that they are not ready to spritz yet. See that bark still coming off? There we go. The rub is not set up yet, so definitely don't want to start spritzing. We'll go ahead and shut this back down. This is a 2-hour mark, and get it going again, and we'll be back later to check on it. Get that temperature running right at about 245, so we're in that range. Perfect. Running perfect. All right, so right at that 4-hour mark, let's take a look at it. Looking good. All right, now the bark's starting to get set up on it. And actually, it can go just a little bit longer, but what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with just a little bit of spray butter. I notice a lot of times this will actually help the bark create. I think one of the things I'm learning here from the injection is that the injection actually has created so much moisture in the ribs that it's making it a little bit more difficult for the bark to set up, which is fine. I just have to go a little bit longer unwrapped, which is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna get it going. See my fire going back there. So I'm gonna get it back going and we'll be back here to check on it here after a while. I'm thinking here before long, about another 30 minutes or an hour, will probably be time to think about getting it wrapped up. All right, there, my fellow barbecue enthusiasts. We are right at that 4-hour mark. So the ribs look good. I don't know if you can see there, but they've got some really good dark color to them. And so I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to keep it real simple today. Like I said, the main thing is I want to see how this injection works out on doing the ribs. But I'm going to put down a little bit of butter. Just a little bit of butter like that, just enough to kind of keep it moist as I wrap it up. And I'm gonna put down a little bit of my Baker's Barbecue competition rub, not much, just a little bit. Just about like that right there. And take the ribs off. Look at them ribs. Boy, they look good. Hope you can see that. I'm gonna lay it meat side down, just like that right there. And I'm gonna repeat the process here on the back. Put a little bit of butter down across the back of them. A little bit of my competition rub. And then from there, we're just going to wrap it up. I got them double wrapped. Just bring one side up, bring up the other side. All you do is simply take it and just roll it straight down. It makes it really easy later to be able to open it back up. You want to make sure you got it pretty tight. You don't want the ribs sitting there steaming and messing up that good bark that you worked all hard for to get. So push it down good and tight. Just take your ends, push them over like that. Looking good. We just put them back on, meat side down. And we're going to let them bad boys spin back out for about 30 to 45 minutes, somewhere in that range. And then from there, I'm going to take them in, set them on the counter, and I'm going to let them rest probably about an hour or so before I cut into them. All right, there, I'm a fellow barbecue enthusiast. We got these ribs done. And the purpose, like I said today, the purpose of today's video was I wanted to inject ribs and kind of see what that does to the juiciness, the texture, the whole 9 yards. One thing I did learn is when you do inject the ribs, of course, there's a lot more moisture in there. And so it takes it longer to form a bark as you go through that cooking process. And what I did was, after about the 3.5 hour mark or so, you saw me, I put a little bit of spray butter on there, and that spray butter really helped firm the bark up and gave it a good color. So I did see that. I'm curious to see how the taste is going to be, but I can tell you, me cutting into these ribs, they were some of the juiciest ribs I've ever seen in my life. So anyway, so let's take a bite here. Like I said, I want to see how it tastes, how juicy it is, and how it goes from there. So I'm just going to grab one here out of the center. Look at that rib. Hope you can see it upside down there, but anyway, you can see it is just packed full of juice. And I mean, it's just got all the injection and stuff in there. So let's take a bite of this thing and let's see how it tastes. Wow. That's got way more flavor than ribs that are not injected. So first thing on the flavor, without a doubt, injecting it, tons more flavor because it gets all that the seasoning and stuff inside the meat, obviously. And from the standpoint of juiciness, there's just no comparison how juicy this is compared to not injecting. So I'd have to say thumbs up to injecting ribs. Play with it, find your own flavor profile you like. This is a really good flavor profile. It's a vinegar-based injection with a lot of spices in it. It's really good. And of course, I used my own personal rub on it, Baker's Barbecue competition rub. But it turned out phenomenal. So I would definitely say that in the future, I would definitely inject my ribs again. So I urge you to try it out, see what you think about it. Give me some feedback in the comments below. And thanks again for watching. If you're new to the channel, if you would, please subscribe to Baker's Barbecue and also put a like on this video. If you're not new to my channel, thanks for coming back and watching again, and I hope you enjoyed my videos. So until the next time I see you, happy smoking.